Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we're going to be taking a look at another bit of a grail knife for me. This being the Pena X Series Barlow Front Flipper. Before I go any further in this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. I also want to send a big thank you to Crane's Cutlery. For the longest time, I chased these Barlow front flippers, and I was getting to the point where I was getting just tired and fed up, and I was tired of trying, and then along came Crane's Cutlery, and I've managed to not score one, but two, and I don't know how I did it. I consider myself the luckiest man in the world, but check out Crane's Cutlery, guys. They have an amazing selection of Pena knives when they're in stock. You guys know how fast these things go, but they have a pretty good relationship with Enrique, so there's always a good chance they're gonna, get better dibs on the knives from him when they're available. And they also have an amazing selection of Riot knives. So Riot and Pena, it really is your place to go. I've had very good experience with them, made multiple purchases, and have nothing but good things to say about them. And the fact that they carry these things is just amazing. They don't have any in stock right now. You guys know how that goes. It goes fast. But by all means, check out Crane's Cutlery. They have a lot of sweet exclusives. They have really cool stuff in the works. I've recently come on to them a few months ago, so definitely worth checking out. Now, let's get into some overall specs on this knife. We have an overall length of 6.65 inches, a blade length of 2.91 inches with a sharpened length of 2.72 inches, a blade thickness coming in at 0.12 inches, blade material being M390, as you can see right there. And we have a close length of 3.81 inches, which is basically the handle length minus the small little bit you have up here for the flipper. But all in all, 3.81 inches. Handle thickness at 0.52 inches. A handle material with a titanium bolster, and micarta scales. There's also an option that is just jigged full titanium, which is pretty nice. And they also have some carbon fiber scales that's marbled carbon fiber, and those look absolutely fantastic. And of course, as you guys all know, this is designed by the one and only Enrique Pena, whose food posts on Instagram look just as amazing as the knives he designs. I tell you what, the tacos and bacon wrap goodies I see him whip up on Instagram make me want to ask him for cooking tips just as much as I want to buy his knives. So give him a follow on Instagram and check it out, because it is a delicious experience. I'm getting a little off track here. Let's get back to the knife. We have a weight of 2.3 ounces and a price at $274. I don't have any issues with that price. I also really like the fact that $274 is kind of like the standard price for all of his front flippers. That's pretty much what to the most of my knowledge, that's what they all come out at, is $274 regardless of the blade style, which I think is nice. It makes some sense, and it's nice to have some standardized pricing. Now let's take some looks at size comparisons here to get a good idea of what we're working with, and the clip on this guy is going to make it a little more difficult, but this will help. There, that's good enough. Okay, let's go here. We have your Civivi Elementum, and we have your Quiet Carry Waypoint. So as you can see, this is by no means a big knife. Probably consider it a small knife, maybe on the little bigger spectrum of small, but nonetheless, I would classify it as a small knife. And we also have some other front flippers to take a look at. We have the Civivi Exarch, and we have still one of my goats, the Booz Blade Smoke. Absolutely love this knife. Still one of my all-time favorite front flippers. At some point, I'm going to come up with a video for you guys to check out to see all my favorite front flippers, because you know how much I love them. So there you go with those two. And one more round of comparisons that are probably the best. We have your Civivi Elementum. And we have my other precious. My other Enrique, this is the Apache. And as you can see, the Apache is pretty different. We'll take a quick little comparison look at these two guys later, because I have a couple references to make between the two. But there you go. I think you got a good idea of just what we have here now. And let's talk about this freaking blade. I'm not sure if it's my favorite front flipper blade design that Enrique's come out with yet, but good lord, it's at the top of the list, right up there. First, second, I don't know, I really like that Apache too. But this blade just screams fancy and classy, but also very useful. It's a nice and relatively sturdy tip with a whole lot of belly up there for you to work with. And that's always a good thing, because you know the Tontos, they work well, but Tontos are also a little harder to sharpen. I think this guy would present maybe its own little challenges, because there's so much belly, and it's not necessarily a recurve, but there's something going on there that is just it's not straight. It's not your typical drop point. But at the end of the day, it's still not that bad at all. And my God, look at the thing. It's gorgeous. That behind the edge reading on this blade is 17 thousandths. So not only is it very attractive, it's very slicey, and that's always a really good thing, especially with the stock at just 0.12. That's not too bad at all. That's a pretty good combination of behind the edge to blade stock thickness. This is going to be a great little EDC for you know, maybe not necessarily super hard use tasks, but tell you what, whatever you do with this knife, you're gonna look pretty darn good doing it. Just a beautiful blade. It really is one of my personal favorites, I think, of any knives. I'm really, really happy I got this. And it also, tell me if I'm wrong, but does it kind of remind you of the Seattle Seahawks logo? I kind of see that. I think I saw that in another knife too, with it coming up. If it was going down, like, that's even kind of more, but you got to have the nail nick in there. That kind of makes the bird's eye. But regardless, I kind of see the Seattle Seahawks logo. I don't know. I can't unsee it now. So regardless, it's not really cool or bad. It's just something I noticed. So there's that. One thing that really separates Pena's front flippers from so many other front flippers is this right here. And I to be honest, I don't know why he's the only one or one of the few to have figured this out. But boom, that jimping. That is perfect jimping. Every single front flipper should have this jimping. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. It's just, it bites down. It bites down on your thumb perfectly. Granted, the detent is dialed in. We're going to talk more about that later. But just for the simple jimping, it is as good as you can get. And jimping shouldn't be a hard thing for these companies to master. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but this jimping is what all front flippers should have, regardless of the style of front flipper. The bigger jimping can work, but I've just always found this style to be the best. And I don't see it on just this. I have some other knives here that have it as well. A real quick example is actually a Boker, of all things. But again, they have that small, fine jimping, and it works like a charm. This is the Boker Excalibur, but that back aside. But that they got this figured out. The only thing that, and I do have a little improvement that I'd like to see on this blade, and the only thing that would be better, and not necessarily the blade, well, I guess, yeah, the whole piece of the blade, I'd like to see this jimping, this same jimping, right here. It would give just an extra little bit of purchase, little secure grip when you go down on it. It's not something that would really dig into your finger real bad, because it would still be flush with the bolsters. I think that would be an amazing improvement. I don't think it would look bad whatsoever, and just give you a nice, perfect little snag on this guy. So just my thoughts, but I would really like to see that. Going into the handles and ergos, when open and in hand, it's excellent. It feels really good. I mean, I say excellent, but again, you know, this isn't contoured or anything, guys. You have it's obviously rounded up here at the top, so it's not square. But there's no hot spots for me. There's no nothing. This pocket clip is completely fine, and it works absolutely great going in and out of the pocket. So it all feels really good in hand. When it's closed, though, is kind of the one thing to where there's still nothing really wrong with it, but I'm going to bring it back in the Apache here. And Nick Shabazz kind of referenced this on the Zulu model. I think he was comparing the Zulu model to the original Trapper that were both in these front flipper styles. I do find the curvature, if you see here, the Barlow is straight, and the Apache has a little bit of swell at the bottom, and it's curved a little. I do find that easier. Ooh, okay. Didn't cut myself, but that hurt. I do find this a little easier to deploy the blade, just because it fits in my hand a little better. I really like the way that feels. But again, that's just compared to the Barlow, and this isn't bad. I mean, it's not bad at all. I have it in hand, and it doesn't feel bad. The Apache just feels a little bit better. I don't know. I don't know. Because I thought that was worth pointing out, because everyone's looking for all these front flippers. So it's nice to know that the Zulu also has this kind of shape. But then I think the Trapper and some of the other ones are a little more straight. Maybe not exactly this outline, but they're a little more on the straighter side. Again, doesn't really matter. I'm comparing two really damn good knives. So again, just thought it was worth mentioning. But this does still feel good. Feels really great in hand when open. And in closed during deployment, you just have to be a little more conscientious to put your fingers behind that clip and just rip it right out. And just feels and sounds so darn good. The micarta on this, it's great micarta. It really is. There's no loose ends. The fit and finish is fantastic. It's Riot. What else would you expect? But also the transition from the micarta to the titanium, you almost don't feel anything. I feel a little line, but I also don't know if that's just the difference in texture from the titanium to the micarta, because the micarta is somewhat smooth, still nice and grippy, but somewhat smooth, and then the titanium just has a little bit, it's still smooth, but it has your finger rubs the two differently. So I think I feel the transition, but it's not necessarily due to a line. As you can see, that is very flush and very, very, very well done. I also really enjoy the bolster to micarta ratio. You don't have micarta going all the way up to the screw. You don't have the bolster coming all the way half down the knife. That's such a turnoff to me. I really love the look of bolsters in micarta, but when you have the bolster coming halfway down the knife or 2/3 down the knife, well, this is actually maybe 2/3, but it's still just, it looks good. It looks very good. I like the balance of it. It's kind of like that tooth to gum ratio. You don't want to have nothing but gums and small teeth. You want to have a nice balance. And that's what you have here, and it looks very, very good, and it's very well done. There's also no internal milling on the inside. Everyone always asks me that now on knives, so I've just kind of been pointing that out. There's no internal milling on this knife at all, as you can see there. But guys, I don't need it. I don't need it. It's not heavy. What did I say? It was 2.3 ounces. Yeah, 2.3 ounces. It doesn't need internal milling, so it's just not something to even really care about with this knife. If this knife was 4 ounces at this size, yeah, you definitely got to mill some stuff somewhere. But that's just not the case, so it's just unnecessary. But just an FYI for everyone that will ask, there is no internal milling. There is also, though, just enough milling here at the front, as you can see by the bolster, to access the lock bar very easily and disengage the lock. This knife, I have not disassembled this knife yet. I haven't opened it and run the lube through. This is still extremely smooth, but it's not quite drop shutty yet. I am 100% confident I will get it there after a good clean and lube. But once you can get in there and access that detent, which is actually pretty easy. I got kind of wide thumbs. I got no problem at all getting in there and closing that up and going into the action. For a front flipper, it just doesn't get much better than this. I don't know. I always struggle to say perfect when it comes to the action of a knife. There are things that I can call perfect, like this jimping I think is definitely perfect. The blade design I think is damn near perfect. I love this blade design, but the action, God, it's the best front flipping action I've ever experienced on a knife. And the same goes for the Apache. The exact same goes for the Apache. Again, we're talking higher end, so I would expect that, but that's not always what you get. And it's just the sound it makes, everything about it. It makes just a great little click when you open it. Not too loud or annoying. It's just very satisfying. And that has to do with the detent on this guy is just absolutely dialed in. And that's, again, that has a huge amount to do with what makes this knife as good as it is. A lot of it is design and aesthetics. A lot of it's fit and finish. But if it had all that and it didn't have this action, it wouldn't be that desirable. It wouldn't be that popular. But it does. It has it all. It's just good. There's really nothing else to say about the action. You can do it all. You can do the reach around just fine. You can do the front flip, obviously, the whoop, as I say that, and the perfect jimping. It is perfect jimping. I just screwed up on that one, but it's just it's got it all. There's really, outside of adding the little jimping right here, I don't think there's anything I would change to this knife. Nothing at all. Overall, it's my thoughts on this are the same as it was on my Apache. This is literally a grill knife for me. It's at $274. It's a very affordable grill knife, but I don't put my value in knives in the price. I put them in my enjoyment, what I look for, and that's that for me. You know, I've said before, I'll say it again, I'm not a custom guy. Mainly because I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I just don't have the funds to spend on custom knives. Not that I don't support it. Custom knives are an absolute art, and Enrique's custom work on these things are absolutely insane. And really, his customs are rather affordable compared to a lot of other customs if you're going to get into the nitty-gritty of that, but that's for a whole another time and day and subject. But just going back to this, it's absolutely excellent in every way. I have no faults, no issues with it whatsoever. The only thing that isn't excellent about the Pena front flippers, and I'm just going to address it real quick because everyone's going to say it in the comments, you can't get them. Well, you can. I'm proof. Sometimes it takes a long time to get them. Sometimes you have to really try and dig. And some people get tired of chasing, and I don't blame them. But again, you know, this is a knife I would like to see pre-orders for it. I think pre-orders would be a great idea, like what Brian Nadeau does for his for the Sharp by Design releases every year. I think that's a great idea. It's a good way of securing funds and not having to put a whole lot into it. Because if you don't do something like pre-orders, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the upfront costs to make these knives are just stupid. I mean, no regular person has them. I mean, you would have to pair up with an investor or someone that is just absolutely loaded, because you're talking $274 times, what do you make 500 of them? Do the math. That right there is a crap load of money, and they usually want that all up front. So that's a lot to come up with. My message to the knife community on these is keep supporting Enrique. Buy them when you can. Keep digging, trying to get them, because there's plenty of people out there that have them. If you have one of these, comment. Let me know, because there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have these knives. Granted, yeah, I'm sure there's probably thousands of people that want these knives, but keep supporting Enrique, and they'll continue to come, hopefully in bigger batches over time. But keep fighting the good fight, guys. Keep trying to get one. The day you get it, it will be worth it. Because they're just good knives, and I just wanted to put that out there for you, to shed some hope on your search for these if you're still trying to get one. I know a lot of people are. Another thing coming up, I was looking at his Instagram page, and there was a dog leg jack design front flipper that is going to be right around this same size, and it looks absolutely amazing. I am really looking forward to that. Keep an eye out for that one, and keep an eye out for everything Enrique, because the guy has an eye for some pretty gnarly designs that I just find to be great. So that's it. That's the Barlow front flipper from the Pena X series. Let me know what you guys think. As of right now, which one is your favorite Pena front flipper? I'd really be interested to know. Hop on his Instagram and look at that dogleg jack, because you may like that design more than any of the other ones. Every time he comes out with one, I seem to like him a little more and more. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.